Hello and welcome back to Func. I'm Colby Hawk.
And I'm Caitlin Wong.
We've had some fantastic weather to start off this week. Today has had sunny skies with a high of 61 degrees and a low of 32. Tomorrow, it's forecasted to warm up to a high of 68 and a low of 39 with sunny skies. Similar conditions are predicted for Wednesday with a high of 66 and a low of 39, but on Thursday, some clouds are expected to roll in with a slightly cooler high of 64 and a low of 44. Enjoy the nice weather this week.
Let's learn about today's word of the day, quip. A quip can refer to a clever, usually taunting remark or a witty or funny observation or response, usually made on the spur of the moment. It can be used in sentences such as, they traded quips over a drink and laughed themselves silly, or, I very much enjoyed the quips with which he accompanied his criticism.
Now for today's This Day in History segment. On February 24th, 1991, the ground phase of Operation Desert Storm started when coalition forces launched a ground invasion of Iraqi-occupied Kuwait. This followed an intense 6 weeks bombing campaign by coalition naval and air assets to soften up entrenched Iraqi positions. 4 days after the start of the coalition's ground offensive, the nation of Kuwait was completely liberated and Saddam Hussein's forces entered a ceasefire with coalition forces under the command of U.S. General Norman Schwarzkopf, officially ending the Gulf War on February 28, 1991.
There are a number of CLPs happening this week, so it's a great time to catch up on your credits before spring break. Tomorrow, February 25th from 5 to 6 p.m. in Johns Hall 101, the Politics Department will be hosting a seminar titled Authoritarianism, Are We There Yet? This presentation will define authoritarianism and then examine the degree to which the United States has arrived at the authoritarian movement in its political history. Special emphasis is placed on the ways in which the second Trump administration comports with diverges from classical definitions of authoritarianism.
Then, on Thursday, February 27th, from 5 to 6 p.m. in Furman Hall 214, the English department will be hosting a lecture featuring Furman graduate and award-winning journalist Peter Gwynn. He will read from some of his most recent stories published in National Geographic and discuss the impacts of place, history, and culture on his writing. Also, he will talk about the interplay of prose and image and the work required to keep a magazine with such a long history relevant today. He will discuss the wider cultural implications of the stories he has heard and is also telling currently. In particular, he has much interest in climate change, so he will discuss the effects of climate change on political upheaval and social unrest in communities around the world. These programs and many more are happening this week, so be sure to check the Furman CLP calendar for further details.
Let's now take a look at today's top news stories. Greenville City leaders are moving forward on plans to make improvements for walkers, drivers, and neighbors. Tonight, the City Council is expected to give a final approval on a plan to improve access from the lower-level parking lot behind the Sphinx Market, located in 659 South Main Street. The $250,000 project includes improving the landscaping, lighting, and pedestrian activations, and building an ADA-compliant ramp that leads from behind the market and building next door. Monday night's agenda also includes plans to bury and consolidate power lines along Stone Avenue for a stretch of Augusta Street. There's also a plan to add planters between sidewalk and roadway to make connections safer for pedestrians.
Students in Greenville County schools will have to make up 3 school days that were missed due to Hurricane Helene. District administration said that they are creating a plan for the Greenville County Schools Board of Trustees to meet state requirements. After approval, the district said students will make up school on a few selected days using an asynchronous e-learning schedule. Students in the district missed 8 days of instruction because of Hurricane Helene, and according to the district, the State Department of Education requires districts to make up 3 days of missed classes. The district sent a message to parents and guardians with more details regarding how instruction would work on these make-up days.
New York Yankees dropped their ban on beards Friday, 49 years after it was imposed by owner George Steinbrenner. In a move aimed to improve player recruitment as the team tries to win its first World Series title since 2009. Current owner Hal Steinbrenner, son of the boss, announced that the change Friday before the team's spring training opener. He called the ban outdated and somewhat unreasonable. George Steinbrenner originally announced the facial policy during spring training in 1976, mandating no long hair or beards. Players complied, but some pushed boundaries by going unshaven or letting hair fall over their collars. In any case, this lift of the ban will be welcome news to many players and fans alike.
A prosecutor told jurors on Monday that a one-of-a-kind 18-karat gold toilet was stolen in under 5 minutes from Blenheim Palace, an English country mansion where British wartime leader Winston Churchill was born, in the early hours of September 14, 2019. Attorney Julian Christopher said in his opening statement in Oxford Crown Court that it was an audacious raid. One of the 3 men on trial in the case of the toilet was involved in stealing it, and the other 2 helped to sell the spoils. The toilet has never been recovered, but it is believed to have been cut up and sold. The satirical work, titled America by Italian conceptual artist Maurizio Cattelan, poked fun at excessive wealth. It weighed at just over 215 pounds, or 98 kilograms, and was insured for 4.8 million pounds, or $6 million US. The value of the gold at the time was 2.8 million, or 3.5 million US dollars. The piece had been previously displayed at the Guggenheim Museum in New York. Suspect James Sheen previously pleaded guilty to burglary, while the other 2 suspects, Fred Doe and Bora Gokuk, were charged with 1 count of conspiracy to transfer criminal property, but all defendants are currently pleading not guilty.
That's all for today's show. I'm Caitlin Wong.
And I'm Colby Hawk. Thanks for tuning in, and we will see you next time.